with head coach Bruce Cassidy. Please use the raise hand function to ask the coach a question. Remember to unmute when called upon. We'll start with Stephen Conroy with the Boston Herald.
Hey, Bruce, how you doing?
Good, Steve.
Good. We didn't see any line combinations today, but yesterday you had Richie and Bjork back on that third line. Are you going with that? And if so, what do you hope to see out of the two wings who get taken out of the last series?
Yeah, they'll play as a line tonight and see how they do. Richie, we expect to be a little better on the walls. He's obviously with active D for Tampa as much in the O zone as anywhere. He's got to be aware in his coverage in D zone. But getting inside, Charlie's a good puck protection guy. If he can separate, hopefully Brett can can learn to find those soft spots in the O zone, preferably around the net. Now, sometimes you can't always just park yourself in the crease if plays die, then you're the last guy out of the zone. But slot, net front, and then with Anders, it's capitalizing on some opportunities. Obviously, he's had a few. Just a consistent game. Hound pucks. Be a good complementary player for those guys off the rush. He can certainly get inside ice in his off wing. And obviously defensively, like everyone on our team, just be accountable and, block a shot when it's your turn to block the shot, get the clear when it's your turn to get the clear, and, skate it out when the opportunity's there. So see how they do.
We'll go to Connor Ryan of Boston Sports Journal.
Hey, Bruce. Sean and that fourth line have earned a lot of head-to-head matchups against Kucherov and that Tampa top line over the last couple of years. I was curious how you think they've kind of fared in that matchup, and is that an assignment that guys like Corrali, Wagner, and Nordstrom kind of relish in these situations?
Well, they do, and I'd put Lindholm in that category as well. He's newer to the team, but first playoffs with us, we did a good job against Carolina. So Sean's going to go in, and Lindy will come out in that spot, which it was a tough decision because I think they both handled that job well. We moved Sean up to play the wing. I don't think it went as well as we'd like, and that's okay. I mean, he does a real good job as a fourth line center, and that's where he's going to start for us. So at the end of the day, if they don't relish it, we're in trouble because they do see a lot of the top players. So we've built it that way for a number of years now, and kind of ingrained it in them, whoever those 3-4 guys are. Last year, it was a Chari in the mix, and before that Schaller. So we used different players and asked them to be hard to play against and defend well and manage pucks. And I think Sean does relish it. I think everybody likes to score, get a little more offensively involved. But at the end of the day, they need to embrace that mentality first. If they're going to make it hard on that trio, keep them off the score sheet, pin them in their own end at times, and frustrate them. So we're almost setting up our next 2 lines or 3 lines to go over the boards for success.
Go to Jimmy Murphy of Boston Hockey Now.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Good, Jimmy.
I'm just wondering, we're not able to see it as much, and obviously you guys do, though. When Connor was out for a while and not playing, how eager was he to, stay in touch with everything you guys are doing, improve, learn, and do everything he can, even if he just couldn't be on the ice? He seems like he's a kid that's always willing to improve.
Yeah, I mean, he's a student of the game in his own way. He's a smart kid. But I thought the reason why we didn't hesitate to go to him, Jimmy, mostly is in practice he was being competitive. He was annoying people. He was hitting guys, not dirty, but I mean finishing his checks on battle drills, which is perfectly fine in practice. And he just showed that he wanted to stay ready on that side of it, because to get thrown into a playoff game is a little different than getting thrown into one in the middle of January. It's just more intense. Got to be harder all around. So he was showing that side, that battle level every day in practice. So, the other parts of our game, he gets. He's been here long enough to know how to defend, how we play in layers. And if he gets mixed in the penalty kill, he's going to handle his responsibility fine. He's not as long as the other guys, so it'll be a little tougher to hold the blue line, but all in all, that part of the game for him is fine for us. So I think that was the difference we saw with him. That he was showing that, hey, if you want a guy that's going to go in and battle, I'm your guy. So, and Johnny Moore's been doing a lot of that too, to be honest with you. So it's been great to see all those guys ready to go when their name's called.
Go to Jason Scales. gone. We'll go back to Stephen Conroy.
Hey, Bruce, early on in the round robin, there was a lot of talk about the ice conditions, and we haven't heard much of it lately. Has that gotten better, or have the guys adapted to it better, or what's the feedback you've been getting from the players?
Players are just adjusted. So to be honest, they'd have to answer that. From the bench standpoint, it always looks nice and crisp coming out of periods or at the start of the game, but I know it does get a little heavy as it goes on. So not as good as typically it would be during the year. Now this may change a little bit if it gets still warm here, if it gets a little cooler outside. I noticed one day it cooled off here, and I think everything was a little bit crisper on the ice. I don't know if that should matter, but it seems to. Less activity on it. Both morning skates were there this morning, but they're pretty light. Teams go out for half an hour at max. It's not a stressful situation on the ice at all. Guys aren't battling and digging in that much. It's a light skate. So I suspect the ice will be good tonight. Had a day or whatever it was, a day, I think, to heal yesterday. So probably doing some work on it. But yeah, I think guys, for the most part, Steve, have just sort of, this is what we're playing on and let's go. And typical hockey players just adapt and off they go.
Thanks very much, Coach, for your time today. That'll end our Bruins availability. Thanks for joining us.